looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and Come here. Is that two kissing?
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we uncover the hidden truth behind two music legends who vanished when the world needed them most. Andre 3000 and Lauryn Hill, names that once ruled every chart, every award show, every stage. They weren't just artists, they were voices of a generation. They won Grammys, sold millions of albums, and touched hearts across the globe. They stood at the very top of music royalty. But then suddenly silence. No new albums, no tours, no spotlight. The world kept asking, why did they leave? For years, fans believed maybe they wanted peace. Maybe they just walked away. But what if I told you that's not the truth? What if I told you their exit wasn't a choice, but a tragedy? Behind this silence stood one man, Sean Diddy Combs, the powerful figure who, according to whispers and testimonies, turned their dreams into nightmares. His infamous parties, his control over the industry, his ability to make or break careers. Andre and Lauryn saw it all. And when they refused to bow down, when they said no to the dirty games, the industry closed its doors on them forever. Imagine being loved by millions, standing in front of screaming fans, holding a Grammy in your hands, and then losing it all. Not because you failed, but because you refused to surrender your soul. That pain, that betrayal, that silence is the untold story of Andre 3000 and Lauryn Hill. And tonight, we reveal the secret Diddy never wanted the world to know. Andre 3000 was not just another rapper. He was a genius, the kind of artist who didn't just make music, he changed music. Every lyric, every beat, every performance felt larger than life. His albums broke records, his songs became anthems, and his talent was unmatched. He was standing at the very peak of his career, loved by millions, respected by legends. But behind the flashing lights and roaring applause, Andre was living in a world darker than anyone could imagine. According to insiders, Andre began noticing things that most artists pretend not to see. The parties, the contracts, the offers that came with invisible chains. These weren't just music deals. They were deals with the devil of the industry. And at the center of it all stood Sean Diddy Combs, a man who many now say was less of a mentor and more of a predator. Andre was invited to the infamous gatherings, the so-called industry parties that promised opportunity, but came with a price. Behind the closed doors of luxury mansions, there were things happening no one dared to speak about. And when Andre refused to participate, when he made it clear that his soul was not for sale, the machine began to turn against him. Suddenly, doors that were once wide open began to slam shut. Radio stations stopped playing his songs. Labels began to distance themselves. The same industry that once worshipped him began to erase him. But Andre wasn't alone. Lauryn Hill, a queen in her own right, was also standing tall in the music world. Her voice was pure fire, her album a cultural masterpiece. She became the first woman in hip-hop to win Album of the Year at the Grammys. She was unstoppable until she too began to see the same shadows. Like Andre, Lauryn realized that the higher you climb, the darker the rooms you're invited into. And just like Andre, she refused to play their game. The punishment? Silence. Careers frozen. Artists who could have dominated for decades vanished overnight. Think about it. Two of the most talented, iconic, once-in-a-generation artists both disappeared at the very peak of their success. That is not coincidence. That is control. That is power. And behind it, once again, was Diddy. This was no accident. This was no simple walk away. This was a carefully orchestrated silencing. And the world never realized the tragedy unfolding right before its eyes. When Andre and Lauryn turned their backs on the dirty games, they believed they were protecting their souls. But what they didn't know was that in this industry, saying no to the wrong man can cost you everything. Andre's fall wasn't loud. It wasn't explosive. It was silent. One day, he was on top of the charts, a Grammy in his hand, a #1 single on every radio station. And the next, it felt like the world forgot him. His music stopped receiving the push it once had, his interviews dried up, his label grew cold. Fans wondered if he had lost his passion. But the truth was that passion had nothing to do with it. The machine had decided to bury him. And when the machine wants you gone, you disappear, no matter how loud your talent is. Lauryn's story was just as heartbreaking. She was the voice of hope, the queen who gave us an album that healed broken hearts and inspired an entire generation. But when she refused to play Diddy's game, the silence came for her too. Behind the scenes, whispers spread that she was difficult, that she was unstable, that she was hard to work with. These weren't accidents. They were weapons, tools designed to strip her of opportunities, to poison her reputation, to make sure no label ever gave her another chance to rise again. Imagine what it feels like to pour your soul into music, to watch the world sing your words back to you, only to have it all stolen because you refuse to sell yourself. This wasn't just a career setback. This was betrayal. This was erasure. And yet, the most tragic part is that Andre and Lauryn never told the full story. They never screamed or exposed what they saw. They carried the weight in silence, letting rumors and lies fill the space where their voices once echoed. Because in an industry where power can destroy you overnight, sometimes silence is the only shield left. But here's where the cracks begin to show. As more and more whispers about Diddy's secret parties came to light, fans started connecting the dots. And they realized Andre and Lauryn weren't quitters. They were survivors. Survivors of a system that chews up talent and spits.
Be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and Come here.
It out if you don't bow to its darkness. Their disappearance wasn't weakness. It was sacrifice. And the price they paid was everything. The story of Andre and Lauryn isn't just about music. It's about the silent war between art and power, between truth and corruption. And in that war, the ones who refused to bow paid the heaviest price. By the early 2000s, both Andre and Lauryn were at a crossroads. Fans begged for new albums. Magazines placed them on covers with headlines like "The Future of Music." And yet, behind closed doors, both were already locked out of the very system they helped build. Their names were blacklisted, their calls unanswered, their projects mysteriously shelved. The pain of watching your art die before it even breathes is something no award, no fame, no money can ever heal. Andre found himself drifting, searching for meaning outside the charts that once defined him. He began wandering, disappearing from the spotlight, as if hiding from the ghosts of what could have been. Lauryn's fall was even more heartbreaking. Once the most powerful female voice in music, she found herself branded as unstable. Headlines painted her as paranoid. Concert promoters canceled tours. The same press that once worshipped her now tore her apart. But the truth? The truth was she refused to bend to the dirty rules of an industry controlled by men like Diddy. And the punishment for her strength was exile. Imagine being forced to watch as the world rewrites your legacy, to see lies replace truth, to watch people call you crazy when all you did was say no. That's not just career sabotage. That's character assassination. And Diddy? He never had to say a word. His silence was louder than any confession. He remained untouchable, his empire intact, while the voices of Andre and Lauryn faded into whispers. But whispers don't die forever. They grow. They spread. And now, years later, those whispers have become shouts. Fans are demanding answers. People are asking the questions the industry buried. And suddenly, the story of Andre and Lauryn is no longer just about two careers lost. It's about exposing a system designed to break the very souls it claims to celebrate. The tragedy of Andre 3000 and Lauryn Hill is not just their silence. It's the silence of an entire industry that watched and did nothing. And tonight that silence breaks. Ladies and gentlemen, what we've just uncovered isn't just a story. It's a tragedy. Andre 3000 and Lauryn Hill had the world at their feet. Their voices were changing history, but the shadows of this industry, led by Diddy's dark influence, ripped it all away. Imagine the pain. Imagine standing on top of the world, millions screaming your name, only to be forced into silence, your dreams crushed because you refused to sell your soul. That's what happened here. And if this can happen to legends like Andre and Lauryn, what about the countless others we'll never hear from again? This isn't just about music. This is about power, about how one man's control destroyed two of the greatest artists of our time. And the truth? It still hurts. So now, I want to hear your voice. Do you believe Diddy was really behind the fall of Andre and Lauryn? Or was it something even darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because your voice matters more than ever. And please, if this story moved you, if it shook your heart even a little, hit that like button. Share this video so more people know the truth. And subscribe, because the secrets this industry hides? We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.